Inventory full, back for episode 2. We're going to be talking about RTX, EVO, D23, and so much more, and it's starting right now. Or is it? Ooh.
You decide.
Choose your own adventure game.
Keep you on your toes.
It's
Welcome to
Telltale.
Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Yeah, we did it. Whatever. We're
Yeah.
here. Video games
We're
have
here.
glitches. Why not? We're doing it. We're doing it. We're dancing because this is that Hikari no Raku from Utada Ikuru. There it is.
Now a party.
Yes, welcome to the most heartless podcast on the internet. It's Inventory Full.
What a nobody.
Now you got me. You attacked me back.
Yeah.
We're Kingdom Hearts fans on this podcast, so we're going to be talking about that and more. Welcome to the show. Let's just get through introductions. I'm one of your hosts, and it's Mark Donica. Find me on Twitter at Mark Donica, and to my left is Nate Miller.
What's going on, guys? You can find me on social media at DogLikeNate.
Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hi guys, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles or all over the web at Nerds Doing Stuff.
And making his, first appearance but return to the show, Patrick Dees.
I'll take both. You can find me at Pete of the Dees. Tweet at me there or don't or whatever. Good to be here, guys.
Yes, happy to
So
have
much
you,
to talk
you
about.
filthy casual.
No.
All right, so we've had the luck of going to a couple of various conventions. There's been a lot of news throughout the week, and we're just going to go through all of it as fast as we can. Earliest on, we went to RTX in Austin, Texas, which was a showcase of some up-and-coming indie games, including one that I'm rocking on my shirt, Battle Sloss 2025, The Great Pizza Wars. There was a game developed by the Invisible Collective and picked up by Rooster Teeth Games. It's an awesome twin-stick shooter. I highly recommend it. We have the trailer in case you haven't heard of this game. Let's play it and take a look. It's an amazing party game. It's one. Go ahead and run it, and I'll talk over it. But it's one of those things where you play it a little bit too much, maybe you start shouting at your best friends or children or any given thing. So
Look, I take pizza very seriously.
You should.
But, yeah, so this is for me.
yeah, so
very
this
serious
it's a game where
situation then.
you're collecting various types of pizza.
Okay,
It's sort of
okay.
it's like Capture the Flag, but it's pizza, and everybody's team is corresponding to a pizza topping.
Finally, a game I can get behind. I don't care about flags. I've never really wanted to play Capture the
Right?
Flag.
You want to motivate me
I
here?
want that pineapple and pepperoni. Nope, that's not a thing I want. But
Yeah,
maybe
it is.
Oh, yes, that
And
is
pepperoni?
exactly
All right,
the
okay.
thing you want. That is
I was
the
going,
best pizza
I
in the
want
world.
ham, I was thinking, but like,
No.
are we all pineapple folks here?
Pineapple and pepperoni.
I knew there would be
Nate?
one.
Aw.
Was that a yes or a no?
No.
I plead the fifth.
Okay, all right.
all right.
Fair
That's
enough.
fair.
I'm gonna do the same thing with Kingdom Hearts. How's that sound? We'll get there.
Oh, no.
So we had an opportunity to talk to not the developers, but the director and the producer from RT Games. Wonderful folk down there, and this is just the start of their initiative to feature games that have a similar ethos to what they have at Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend everybody picks it up. It's on Steam right now, and they're hoping before the end of the year to bring it to console.
Is this early access? Is this out?
It's out.
It's out.
It's out on Steam.
Fantastic.
We just missed a free weekend this last weekend, but yeah, highly recommend it. Go pick up Battle Sloss. We also got to check out and we don't have a video for this. Don't worry, engineer. The guy who made Ruby Grim Eclipse, the guy who just said, I'm gonna make a Ruby game.
Sure.
He's making a new game called Arbiter. It's currently on Kickstarter. Go support it. We got to talk to him as well. Highly recommend it. Go check that out. And then the last thing, or one of the last things from RTX is we were invited by the fine folks at H1Z1 King of the Kill to a wonderful party, and we got a chance to talk to a lot of their creative folks about what's coming. And one of my favorite things is people might be looking past H1Z1 to the newest Battle Royale sensation.
Yes.
PlayerUnknown's Battleground. And Nate, you recently got into Battleground.
Yeah, I have a friend who was pestering me for a while, and I finally caved after watching some videos, and the game is fun.
Let's talk strats. Look,
Because the battle royale genre seems to be the new hotness, and
Yeah.
H1Z1 sort of sparked the revolution, and PlayerUnknown came from the H1Z1
Yeah,
team.
right?
part of the reason why I decided I was going to take the plunge with PUBG was that I did some research and I saw that the guy who's behind PUBG is the same guy who designed the original Arma 2 and Arma 3 mods, and then also got picked up by the H1Z1 team for King of the Kill.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then now he's getting his own game. The whole, everything is built up around this game mode. And I don't know, it's really fun. The gameplay is really addicting, and I think part of the reason why it's blown up so big is because of the streamers, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's fun to watch people play the game.
Totally.
It's so fun because it's just strange how that simple mechanic of there's no respawns, like
Right.
never. Not like when the round ends, like when you die, you're it. The
Right.
game's over.
There's no leveling up. There's no progress. Right. You
that's
either
it.
win or you don't.
find stuff or you don't.
Or you don't.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so it's there's some RNG there that's a little bit frustrating.
Sure.
But it's also just very rewarding too when you pull something off.
How do you think it's going to fare on consoles? Again, you're primarily a PC gamer, right? I feel like that crowd, that ecosystem has a higher tolerance for some jank. Do you know what I mean? And this game has a little bit of jank.
I agree.
Console
100%.
guys and gals are always wanting this AAA polish thing. How do you think it's going to do? You think it's going to do well?
I'm concerned about that.
Okay.
Because it's as much as I have enjoyed the game, and even in the short time I've played it, they've already updated it and added things and fixed some things. There's also there's lots of work to be done.
Sure.
As fun as the gameplay is, that makes me still play it. I am well aware of how unpolished it is. And you're right. That's console players look for polish. You want a done, complete game. That's part of the reason why I think, not to say the O word, but Overwatch did so well on consoles as well, even though Blizzard is very much a PC company.
Sure, yeah.
Because they polished that thing. It was done when it came out.
But that's also the thing about, I would say, player unknown's battle. I just PUBG, I guess, for shorthand.
It's just too many words.
Too many words.
And
It's a terrible title.
Yeah.
But a lot of the games that are coming out on early access, and it's a new thing for consoles to understand, and it's still kind of poo-pooed on consoles, yet everybody is down with it on Steam, even though they just shut down Greenlight.
I kind of saw this coming. It's a natural progression for me of, for a couple years now, we've been seeing indie games making it onto the Xbox Live market, making it onto the PlayStation market. So it's kind of a natural evolution of that, where we're seeing the worlds that we're used to have the Steam library and all their games, and then the console games that you went to GameStop for.
Yeah.
Where now you can go online and get a lot of the same things, especially once Minecraft breached that hole. Now it's like, well, the hardwares are more or less the same, with the exception of mouse and keyboard.
Right. Yeah.
Why there's a whole audience of people that want to play your games.
Well, so let me keep me honest here, though, because I think PUBG has said they're going to be 1.0 by the time they have a console release. So I don't think this is coming out as far as, I could be wrong. Usually am. People on the internet always seem to let me know. But I think it's a 1.0, and so I think that their goal is to be feature complete by the time they go live on the consoles.
I hope so.
But and I don't know, man. It'll be weird too, because I think part of the jank is why it streams so well. Like when you watch there's all those emergent stories, but B, when things go
When the
batshit
car
crazy,
flips around.
I saw somebody die from like a rear view mirror, like hit them on the car, just the mirror, and it ended them, and it was kind of great. Like it just works.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
I ran over my first person the other day as he was trying to run into the safe zone, and it felt great. After being run over like 3 or 4 times, let me tell you, it feels great.
Like suck it.
You're like, who would do this? And then you're like, me.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
I am that
Yes.
person.
Brings out the worst of us.
It really does.
I bet.
It makes you feel like a killer. Like
Totally.
you're dropped on an island, you just have to murder everyone around you.
Or get murdered.
Or get murdered. Yes.
I mean, when those are the choices.
Have you gotten a chicken dinner yet?
I have not. No.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
really
still early.
close.
Okay.
I actually got the closest I got was 2, and I was telling Mark about this. I was playing a squad.
Yeah.
And like the squad ends up just being me by myself because everyone else has died, and I'm up. So at least everyone else is killing each other.
Right.
But then I'm all by myself, and it's usually 1 versus 2.
Right.
And, it was close. It was close.
I think as it gets this console launched, I think the inventory full team needs to do a squad match or 2 and stream these out.
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can't wait.
And I'm not just saying this because they fed us and gave us drinks, but I'm also very interested in H1Z1 because they are those that came before.
100%.
They have a little there's a lot of people who are just playing PUBG because this is what everybody's playing right now.
Right,
correct.
And they're gonna fall off. Whereas I feel like with a hardcore community that H1Z1 has, you're playing with the best of the best, and you're. I don't know. I think I like the customization there a little bit.
I would
more.
just be curious how much of a shift in their population move to PUBG because they must, especially with how insanely popular the game is right now. There must be people who played King of the Kill that moved over.
Well, one of my favorite things.
question.
I got to talk to a community manager, and I mentioned that directly, like.
You said the words PUBG at their event.
Yeah, and because he was going to be
that shall
there.
not be named.
Player on
No, made it better.
no, seriously. Player unknown was.
I don't think they have like.
There's no bad blood.
From
It's
what I
not contentious
understand,
whatsoever.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
No,
Okay, good.
No,
good.
he was supposed to be there.
It's also a different. From what I haven't played both. But from what I've read and people I've spoken to have played the game, it's also different where PUBG is much slower, much more tactical, you know, whereas H1Z1 is more zany a little bit.
It's Grand Theft Auto versus Saints Row, sort of a thing.
Yeah,
and there's a lot more.
kinda makes
There's
sense.
a lot more people in per round
it's like
in H1Z1.
174 or something like that.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
it's a completely different. It's different feels with the same type of gameplay, and it's two ecosystems that can live side by side if you're into that sort of a
awesome.
thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that we got an opportunity to talk to the fine folks at Daybreak. Thank you again for that. The last thing that I'm going to leave us with at RTX was our tease that blew up the internet. So during the Ruby panel, on the first Ruby panel, there was a moment where they went, "Hey, EVO's coming up. That's cool, isn't it?" And we got picked up, and I tweeted, "There could be an EVO!"
Yeah.
Way too
Right.
excited. And SureYouCan.com picked up the tweet and said, "Wait a minute." And we got a lot more followers, which is wonderful. Hi, welcome. But the end result, we have a trailer that they announced
Yes.
for Blaze Blue cross tag battle. Let's play that. This
Yes.
was announced at the end of the Blaze Blue finals at EVO, where Arc System Games announced their new crossover fighting game, and it was a little surprising. Like, oh, it's just Blaze Blue. That's weird.
Sure.
But Stacey, did you ever play Persona 4 Arena?
I did not play Persona 4 Arena. I
'Cause
just picked up Persona 5. Yeah.
The EVO competition last year was nuts. It fits into this fast-paced anime-style gameplay. So we saw this announcement. We're like, oh, all right, cool, I guess. But it had more in store for us. It's the last thing I expected to hear was Lindsay's voice, especially in English.
It's so
Right?
good.
It's the perfect cut in.
Yeah, no, it really is.
And Ruby Rose is gonna, at least the first, what we hope to be the first representative of Ruby, because it's an anime, that is gonna be featured in this Blaze Blue cross tag battle that is coming out in 2018.
It's pretty dope.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where after we made that announcement and it started getting picked up, that's when we went down to interview the folks at RT Games, and I said, "Hey, so they brought up EVO at the panel," and they said, "Ah, crap, did they?" Can we talk about that? No. Okay.
They did what?
Yeah.
Oh, did they mention that?
So now that we're on EVO, now Nate and I we watch EVO. We're EVO collectives.
On the ESPN, or are you watching this?
No, we're watching
I watch on Twitch.
Yeah,
all right,
Twitch.
all right.
But have y'all ever gotten bitten by the EVO bug?
I've dabbled. I can't say that I've been bitten by the bug. Like I'm like whatever. Obviously a big sports guy. I own football teams. Like I'm into that stuff, but usually I don't follow it really closely, so I don't know a lot of the personalities involved, or I always catch the recaps on Kotaku or whatever. But no, not. Have you, Stacey?
Not bitten by the bug, definitely not. I have seen matches here and there, little bits and pieces, but nothing that I follow regularly.
I would highly recommend you find a fighting game that's based on a franchise that you like. So, like, I would say go and watch the Persona 4 Arena ones, even though characters that you may not recognize considering they're Persona 5. But, even Smash Brothers. The Smash Brothers ones are even more nuts. But I pulled a couple of videos from the finals that we're going to talk over.
Awesome.
Let's watch the other one first. So we talked about it on our E3 special. They announced the Dragon Ball Z
That's right.
fighting
Yes,
game.
yes.
So you were looking it up. Did the folks
No,
featured
you were
here?
correct.
I was correct?
You were
Okay.
correct.
So in between the announcement and EVO, which has been like a month and a half, 2 months.
Sure.
Yep.
They gave these to the cream of the crop of the fighting game community and said, we're going to have a miniature tournament at EVO 2017.
Go get good.
This is the final round of that.
All
So
right.
let's take a look at Dragon Ball Fighters.
Great setup.
I think I saw this clip.
Yeah.
The final match. Hopefully no mess
Oh no, I did not this one.
Yeah, this is the
I saw
grand
another
final
great reversal
of
like a
the
1v3 ridiculous.
fast-paced tag in, tag out, similar to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and the level of strategy that people have been able to figure out over the course of a month and a half is insane.
That's great
mean-
news because I was concerned that this game wasn't as technically competent as maybe a Marvel versus Capcom. That it was just a licensed play and was flashy. But that's awesome that there's that level of depth to this one.
Especially when, at this point, I think they've only had 5 or 6 characters to play with. It's not
that's
not even
crazy.
close to full roster.
Oh, that's awesome. And that is balanced and.
Yeah, I mean the fighting system seems very, very reminiscent to Marvel vs. Capcom. So I'm not to take away from how impressive this gameplay is, but it would be much more impressive if it was like a brand new fighting system.
Sure.
It looks, as someone who played Marvel vs. Capcom and watches a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom, it looks like Marvel vs. Capcom with Dragon Ball Z.
for
Not in
sure.
a bad way at all, and it does look very unique.
Even
but
with
it definitely looks with the way the transfers are set up.
Yeah.
And the counters and a lot of the air combos and,
But
and
there-
the jumping. There's like the very few fighting games jump as much as Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah. But it fits in with the Z
No, it
universe,
does.
though.
It
That's
looks
the thing.
the thing that is killing me watching all the gameplay is the fluidness, like in and out of the special abilities and stuff, and the way they
And the
tie it.
transitions of the
It's
like
dope.
the cinematic.
It's so cool.
And it's not necessarily full round breaks, but it's once a character's
Just a nice
down,
reset.
we're back in.
Which
and
I like a lot because then that gets rid of one of the bigger issues I have with like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is you get in these infinite combos where you get the character tap in and
Right.
they're locked in the combo too.
Right,
the
right,
fight's
right.
already over.
Yeah, and there's similar moments like you can transition from super to super. There's another moment, I don't think it's in this fight, where Frieza drops like a Mega Ball down on the ground and knocks down the opponent, tags out, the ball hits the opponent that just got up, bounces them off, and the tag-in person fires their super at the same time.
Oh,
and it's
sick.
super cinematic
Yeah.
and super cool, but it's also just like that. You're getting into Marvel vs. Capcom territory of the infinite combo, and I've seen combos go up to 75, which
Fantastic.
I don't know if that's big or not, because sometimes there are flurries of like 20, 30 hits that are sort of like pre-programmed combos.
Right.
But the game looks gorgeous, and seeing high-level play kind of makes you want to get involved. Kind of
looks
makes you
cool.
want to play it.
It looks cool.
Especially if you've ever watched the Dragon Ball Z the movies. What? Hi.
I mean, it's really nice to see a Dragon Ball Z fighting game that actually can be taken seriously and competitive because so many
we can
of
cut that.
their action adventure fighting games haven't been technical enough for there to be enough competitive depth.
Yeah,
to create
I thought it was just a
scene.
licensed play when they announced it at E3. I had no idea that it had this much depth. It's awesome.
Have you watched? Was Budokai ever a part of EVO?
I believe so. I don't think it was ever one of the larger.
No, I don't think it ever got big, but I think this has an opportunity to be
Oh,
one
I
of the
think this
larger ones.
already has the potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
And one of the things, the thing that's making the headlines from the EVO is the Street Fighter 4 final round between Punk and Tokido. Well, when did Tokido win last?
We need to what?
Didn't Tokido win like 2014, 2015?
No, he's never won an EVO championship.
Okay.
He's won a couple other tournaments, but it's been many years. But he's never won EVO.
Like
so this
Capcom
is his
Classic.
first EVO.
See, this is
Yeah.
how you watch these fights. You need to know all the personalities
Well, but see,
before
but-
they go
but
into
this
the
is
fight.
Why, look, to be completely honest, as I would call myself, a fighting game fan. I'm not by any means an expert.
Okay.
And a lot of the reasons why I enjoy these streams so much when they happen to come on is just because the casting is usually so great,
Got it.
especially with fighting games.
Yeah.
There's enough time, especially in between rounds and stuff, to get a little bit of backstory. This person played this person here. This person won
Okay.
here. This person is really good with this person. And, one of the big things that has to do with Takedo's win is Akuma. Akuma, with this newest iteration of Street Fighter, was not released at the start.
Right.
He is a DLC character that has only come out recently.
Sure.
So there is not a lot of showings of pro plays of Akuma to look and see this is how Akuma is played.
Or how you counter him. Like,
He's here
just
showing them. He's
Oh,
setting
rad.
the meta. He's
Even-
going,
even better.
This is
Yeah,
how
that's
you
cool.
wreck people with Akuma.
See, I need those
And
like
let's see how people wreck with people with Akuma, and we'll keep talking.
I
And
need those like those ABC like the Olympics, those emotionally manipulative
stories?
Olympic
Oh, yeah.
story
Well, let me
pieces that they
tell
have
you-
around the Olympics.
Let me lay the groundwork. So this is Tokido versus Punk.
Okay.
So Tokido is this 32-year-old Japanese fighting game legend. Tokido's in the blue, playing
okay,
Akuma.
got it.
Karen is played by Punk.
Okay.
Punk is an 18-year-old American kid, the only American in the top 8. American's last hope
Which is
to
rare.
win, which is insane, especially as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, all right.
And you know, they faced up against each other early in the tournament. Tokido got sent to the losers bracket, fought his way all the way up through the losers bracket, which I watched. It was incredible.
Oh
And
That's it.
just you know,
Good night now. That was pretty great.
They went 3 rounds. He 3-0'd him, and in the first round he just crushed him. And you know, unfortunately, I think Punk's being so young, he doesn't have the mental fortitude to just say, okay, I took the loss. It's okay. I can come back and win this against someone who's a legend like Tokido.
Yeah.
When he crushes you like that, he was the one person he didn't want to see come out of the losers bracket. And that's, and when when he was walking on stage against Tokido after Tokido won, you could already see he was like, how am I gonna win this?
So how much of this? I have so many questions. Like, how much of this is like is it like a mental game, right? Like, how much is this like you get in the head of the other person?
100%.
Fighting game is 100% mental game because it's all about predictions. It's all about what to do in order to do a counter, in order to do, you know, when do you block, when do you strike, especially in Street Fighter where you get punished very heavily.
So I meant less around technical proficiency, more about like I'm in your head, like like
Oh, yeah.
like I don't know how to deal with this.
Yeah,
guy.
I
like,
mean, he drops a couple taunts. There's a couple fights where he uses some supers that he definitely didn't need to use just to be a little flashy.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
so that's very much a part of the game.
And are they smack talking during the course of
No.
it?
Not anymore.
No.
They used to?
It used to be very, especially in the fighting game community.
Yeah.
It was, but the problem is with everything, everybody wants to ramp it up, and it just got to be way too toxic.
Got it.
And not unsportsmanlike. So they keep it in the game. You know,
Okay,
if you're
fair
taunting
enough.
in the game, you know.
It's sort of an indicator.
I used to
Yeah,
love
but that's
slapping
that's
that
about
quarter
it.
aggressively against the glass. I got next. Where you at?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you like you'd wait, you'd kind of size them up a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
You're like, you know, you're terrible.
You watch
at this
his
game.
team,
Bam.
you watch his
yes,
build.
yes.
I see how you play.
Totally. That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
that was my jam.
And it's in the crowd now. It's watching
Right.
the crowd react and seeing, like, in between rounds, sometimes they have other members of their team come up and coach in case there's something that they missed because they were too far into it.
Oh, cool.
Where they can come through and go, hey, he was using Ryu, like,
Yeah.
he was way too fireball on that. Come on, like, try
It's
using
funny.
this character the next time.
That's pretty cool.
Some of the guys actually got in trouble for
They,
coaching. You saw
but it
that.
was in the middle of a round.
Right.
Like, it wasn't in between.
Okay.
But it was like, as he was happening, like hearing,
Yeah.
like there's strict rules for it, but seeing a moment where like somebody taunts in the middle, and then the crowd just going, oh!
It was rough, man. Punk
It's
is
crazy.
You know, my heart goes out to the kid. He's an incredible player. He had an incredible showing at the tournament. Like, he's not in no way is he a bad player at all. It's a lot of it is matchup and really wits, because you could see in his play, he just had him beat in the mind game.
Just didn't have good people in his corner.
You know, it's hard when you're an 18-year-old and you're fighting for first spot. You've been performing great all day, and now you're going up with this guy who's been playing fighting games longer than you've been alive.
Right.
He's been playing fighting games.
And also the fact you brought it up that you're being watched on national television.
Totally, yeah,
around
absolutely.
the
Well, especially
world.
too in the Twitter age, you know, he's getting, you know, his phone's going off.
Oh,
the
yeah,
whole time.
100%.
Talking straight to
I'm
him.
sure the
Yeah,
other
it's
team's probably tweeting him. I would get your back, Mark, if you were playing. I'd be like, you gotta block.
No.
Remember to block. Like really helpful tips, like block,
Man,
punch him.
I don't even
Hit
know
him
if I
very
would,
Yes,
helpful.
punch
Hit him with the
him.
thing.
Block.
I don't even know if I would make it past the first pool, man. Jeez. I was in a Street Fighter tournament once, and the only reason I made it to the second round was because I was against a friend of mine.
That's another thing
that's
that's really
kinda cool to
interesting
you.
this year. There's a lot of like big like champions and people who are favored to win that didn't make it very far at all in the pool
Really?
because they got a huge number. I think like 2,600 entrants or something.
There was a lot this
Because
year.
I wasn't in the
Anybody can
corner.
go.
Block.
Block. It's
Punch.
tap backwards.
Punch him.
Just hold back. It's how you do it.
Fire.
Use the
I can't believe you don't have a
Yeah.
fireball. Yeah, that's.
But EVO
Those are my strats.
is it's always a good time, and I've been wanting to go. It's a short skip and a jump. It's in Vegas.
Sure.
So even just to be around that world and in that environment,
Yeah.
I can only imagine it rivaling WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania
Yes.
only.
I could see that.
It's like rivaling boxing for
Yeah.
me, because it's like that's what boxing's supposed to be, like technical fighting. That's like fun to watch, but it's they're real people and they're getting hurt and stuff.
Yeah.
Where like the games, they're fine, they're okay.
Yeah,
they can
okay.
hit each other.
It's okay to watch them
Crazy
just crack at each
dragon
other.
fire stuff. Yeah, we can get excited. They can do Mortal Kombat, pull skulls out, and it's okay.
Fair enough.
right?
Both
We
people
can-
It's
like
all
it,
good there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's like futuristic gladiator entertainment.
Yeah.
Right?
If
Are
anything,
you
we
not
should.
entertained? Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think we should at least find like a Capcom Cup, like underground fight or Street Fighter underground fight, and just go and be in that world for a little
They
bit.
do.
'cause it's a lot of
They
fun.
do local Smash tournaments frequently.
Underground sounds so
Wow.
serious. It's like the first rule of Smash Bros is you don't like. It's always people you go to the club, but at work you like
No
don't talk
dashing.
about it, just,
Actually, speaking of Smash Brothers, members of the modding community, they used to mod Melee. They were big Smash modders. They're called
Yeah.
Wave Dash Games. They came out with their own arena fighter at this EVO, or at least
cool.
they announced it, and it's very reminiscent of Smash Brothers.
You don't say.
Icons.
Okay.
Yeah. Icons the arena or something like that. But it's like that's Fox, that's Ganondorf.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you squint long enough, you're pretty
Well, no, it's
sure
their
that's
moves.
You
It's
don't
Kirby.
really
like-
have to squint
Yeah,
very
yeah.
hard, okay?
Yeah.
Blurby. They're not even trying.
But good for
like,
them.
I just
Can I play it with a
Color
GameCube
change.
controller?
yeah.
You have to. All right, let's move on to D23. We had two big announcements. They talked about the single player of Star Wars Battlefront,
Yes, they did.
which was
Did.
fun,
Yep.
Yeah.
great.
I loved
don't-
that trailer.
Nothing makes me want this game more, because I mean we played it and it was so much fun. And
We already want it. We're there.
Yeah, we
We're
already
sold.
wanted it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just teasing at this point.
Yeah.
But the biggest news to come out of D23 was the announcement of a new land, a new world a new land for Disney, whatever. But for Kingdom
Shaking
Hearts,
his fist.
let's take a look at this trailer for the Toy Story world that is going to be featured in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Did anybody see Toy Story coming?
No.
I am not.
Yes.
You did.
Yeah, I'm not
I knew
terribly
that they were going to
surprised.
do Pixar. Mm-hmm. I didn't. Toy Story was on my list of possibles.
Yeah, I
but it
was.
fits perfectly.
Yeah, I just thought it was a toss-up between Toy Story and like a Finding Nemo kind of world.
Oh,
Finding Nemo would be alright.
I thought that
Fishblade.
was.
No Finding
Fish,
Nemo.
fish
I don't want to go
No
back
more
under
water
the sea.
levels.
I don't want to do
No
that, but
water
I thought it
levels.
was.
you don't want any more
possible.
Finny
In
fun?
any
No.
game ever.
No, I do not.
No more Finny fun.
No, I hated that.
My favorite thing. Did you guys see the tweets going around about this when this was going live when this trailer premiered? They were showing the comparisons of Woody from the original versus the graphics in this
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
and we've now done it. We've actually video game graphics are better than the original Toy Story.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
There.
that's not
I mean,
that hard.
even just
Yeah,
looking at
yes, but
even
it was
looking at
pretty
pictures
amazing.
of Sora and like when he looks in his normal form in the trailer compared to the Kingdom Hearts 3 footage from 2 years ago.
Sure.
Yep.
Is insane. So
Right.
now you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I kind of see why we're still working on it, why it's not done.
Such a mess.
Why you didn't
I'll
put
believe
it out
it when I see
then.
it.
Well, no, that's the thing is Nomura mentioned that the reason it's taking so long is because Square Enix keep upping their technology and
Yeah.
they want it to be the most modern thing that they can, which sets back production.
So they have
Yeah.
to keep redoing
I
parts
mean-
of
I mean,
it
looking at
entirely.
if the worlds are the size as they are
Not
here,
an excuse.
the world in this looks huge.
Like Naughty Dog has shipped like 7 games since this game was released, right? And they're all at the time the apex of technology. My point is something's very broken with their pipeline. Like I'm all for getting it right when it comes out, but there's some point where you gotta just ship the game. Just ship the damn
I'm not
game.
arguing that.
Yeah, and in the action part of the trailer where we see the Keyblade transformation and it turns into a giant hammer, like it just looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
It looks crazy. The combat looks like just madness, and I'm ready to just go in there and start smashing things.
Yeah. And I love that.
No party limit, it looks like, too.
At least we
Got
don't
buzz.
know of a party limit.
Okay.
Because it used to limit the party at 4, but we have 5.
Well,
with both
somebody
buzz
at
and
IGN
party.
said something about setting the groundwork for having the 7 Warriors of Light in your single party. So it kind of makes
Yes.
sense for it to be even more than just the 4 that we see here.
Right.
So at
It's
least
so cool.
up to like
Crap, it's
9.
beautiful. Yeah.
Because there's 7 Keyblade wielders of light.
And
Oh,
the
boy.
combat was easily the best part of Final Fantasy, this last one, 15.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks even more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this
No,
this
this
is
is whimsical. And
I would
great.
Yes.
I would highly recommend people to pick up the
look at
2.5 collection
Yes.
so that you can play Birth by Sleep
That
because
is-
that's what
Oh, man.
that
And it
is
looks
the
amazing,
best. That it looks great,
But the combat-
but the
Yeah.
combat is what they said. Okay, no, this is the combat
Yeah,
system.
this
looks
is
so
this is
fun.
what you're waiting for, is what they.
This looks so fun.
yeah, Drill Claw,
Yeah.
some sweet Wolverine flashbacks. We're back at EVO.
And I'm
mean,
just
just-
so
I-
glad that we got to see a little bit of organization. Wow.
Organization 13.
Organization 13
Got you.
at the
Mm-hmm.
end.
Oh, and the Diva cosplay. Where he jumps into a mech and he's.
I thought we were doing Transformers.
Okay, we could do that. But getting into a Megazord.
Titanfall.
So, Titanfall, very good.
No.
Yes.
So we've got Galaxy of Toys, we've got Andy's Room and Andy's Yard, which is just the beginning of one level.
Dude,
Even
Right.
even
This
just
is
the
so
that
cool.
map
Yeah.
itself is like larger than almost
I mean,
all of the other maps.
Yeah, than anything we've really seen so far. And I mean, that's what we're hearing. It's going to be less worlds, but they're going to be more fully flushed out. We're going to have a lot more gameplay options in all of them.
I'm down with that.
Seems to be the direction.
Just
we're
put it
heading.
out!
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I'll believe it when it's on my system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
One
jokes
day.
going around was 2018 was actually how many days were left in development. Not
would-
That seems
Yeah.
about right.
That seems reasonable,
I just-
actually.
I mean,
Ugh.
again, too, like, especially not even like Q1 2018 or like early 2018.
They just
or
give you the
spring.
year right now. Yeah.
We're talking
2018.
like Christmas 2018.
Literally
That's my
Christmas-
guess.
Christmas
I think
Day.
It's
It's gonna be December 31st.
Yeah.
We're dropping it.
We kept our promise.
It's technically out in 2018.
Nailed it.
Thanks, guys.
But that was the biggest news from D23. They reiterated that Big Hero 6 is going to be a big part of it. They announced that 2 years ago. So Patrick,
Yes.
we put a pin in it.
We
So
did.
So what and this isn't accusatory. I just,
no.
I just genuinely want to
Accuse
know.
away.
No.
Block! Mark! Block! Sorry.
No, you should get ready to block because I'm
ready.
attacking.
Okay, bring it.
Anyway,
I
so what either turned you off from Kingdom Hearts, or did it just pass you by?
It kind of passed me by. I think I've always been on the periphery of it, but one of my favorite things about it was, and that's why I'm really actually excited about this one and it's on my radar, is that I think they did fan service before fan service was a thing, and now the whole game is built around fan service, and this looks really, really cool. So it's not that I have no ill will toward that, but I just we'll wait till it comes out. I think I just missed it. It was just always one of those things that I'll get to and then just didn't. So
You can get the collection. You can play it on your PS4 Pro.
I might
Yeah,
have to.
I got it.
Don't do
Whole
it.
handful of games to play
Okay.
there.
So if you get the whole collection, that is 5 games.
Okay.
And 3 longer
Yeah.
than movie length story chapters.
Do you think they're going to be necessary? Do you think this will be accessible for new players? Like if I missed all of that,
I don't see how
or
it
do you
could
think it's
be.
just
No.
going to be
No.
just flat
Yeah,
out no?
And I don't think so. One, because I've been a fan for almost 20 years
Yeah.
now, and I still get confused
I
about
still
all the
don't know
story
what's going
parts.
on.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know
and
what happened in
two,
15, and I beat that game, so I guess
There's-
that doesn't really matter.
There's-
There was a princess.
Still play
I think
it.
it was Luna.
In
Yeah.
a lot of games, it's nice to be able to have a jumping in point where, like, okay, I can go back and get the rest of
Right.
the stuff later, but I can still get this game. I feel like with a 13-year gap, like, if you are hyped for this game, if you want to get this game,
Yep.
I think it's
Might be
acceptable
worth
for you to
investing into
do
that.
your own research. Even
I
just
can
watch,
buy that.
even watch a couple YouTube videos.
There are a
will
lot
tell you all
of
you need to
kind
know.
of compilations now.
For me,
Kinda
the story is the best
explain.
part for me. I enjoyed the gameplay a lot. I was never that big of an RPG fan. Well, at the time, I was not that big of an RPG
Got it.
fan. But for me, the story, outside of all the Disney stuff, because I'm an avid anti-Disney person,
I want to
all
unpack
the-
that a little
Let's
bit
get
later.
into
Like, we'll
later.
get there, but yeah.
that's a be a special.
Tune in to episode 3. Yeah.
The gameplay elements that are very Final Fantasy influenced,
Yeah.
and the story elements in that regard are just
Okay.
He's a genius.
Nomura?
Yeah.
He just likes to confuse us all for
He
now.
does. He does.
But
And as much as I want to give him like the George Lucas, yeah, you had this plan the whole time
Right,
thing.
right.
Like he's making up like, oh, you guys like that? You
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I know, yeah.
We're going along.
Oh, just wait till you see what I have
Right.
now.
Yeah. No, it seems like that, especially after like Dream Drop Distance, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's dreams now, and we have a completely different type of enemy.
And I feel like they also, a lot of that stuff I think came from the, okay, well, we got to push 3 back because we got new technology. We got to push,
Yeah.
so well, we got to put something out. So let's do this. You know, and I feel like that's where a lot of those sequels started to come from.
I think
From
they're-
side games.
Forgot about Dream Drop Distance.
What,
Just
the-
the naming convention just as a whole.
Yeah,
Just come on.
3D.
I know. I followed.
come
I
on.
just.
Nailed
I
it.
mean, yeah, no, it's just,
They were
come
so
on.
clever. Come on.
Oh,
you
was
gotta-
it? Was that?
Oh yeah, so clever.
Is that what that meant?
That's what that was.
What was so to the other Kingdom Hearts faithful? What was the last game that you finished
Oh.
in the Kingdom Hearts series?
352 over 4.
358 Days Over 2.
That one, yeah, sure. What?
Wait, that was a part of the naming convention as well. Gee,
358 Days Over 2.
Oh, just
Thank you, I'm
just
glad
proving
you
my
know
point that
numbers.
this convention is ridiculous.
No,
That-
the names are terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty
They're,
hard.
they're
It's
so
just
hard
a,
to keep
but
track
it's
of.
also it's a Japanese thing too. Like it's not a lot of their names don't translate.
Sure. It's a
Yeah.
localization problem.
Right.
Got
That's
it.
part of it.
Okay.
Like someone needs to be going like, okay, that's what you're trying to say.
Right.
Well, we would say that in this way
Sure.
instead of like going to Google
Yeah.
Translate and like, okay, and just copying it onto the title of like whatever the game.
But that's the
would be.
thing about Kingdom Hearts is it's such an English phenomenon. Like the games did well in Japan, but then when it came out in America and it had all of the
Right.
Disney voices in
Right.
it,
Yeah.
Yep.
the Japanese fans are like, no, those are the voices that we're familiar
Right.
with. Sort of like how we ask for subtitles for
Sure,
our
yeah.
anime, whatever. So the American version became like the deluxe edition over there.
Got it.
So they made the final mix versions of the game that had a little bit extra
we couldn't
something
get.
Okay.
that we couldn't get because but either way, so that's the weird thing is
Complex.
it's still very Japanese, but the fan base is still very much like, no, let's go English with
Yeah.
this. What was the last one you finished? Like not played,
Finished the first one.
Yeah?
I just did played through the. I mean, it's not 100, so it's not finished. but I
Beat.
finished
Are
the
we gonna
main
define-
story and I moved on to the second one.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm about 75% of the way through the second one now.
Birth by Sleep was the last one that I finished, and I got 2.8 to finish Dream Drop Distance because I never finished it on my 3DS because the
Yeah.
controls were weird, and then I want to play Aqua's Chapter pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was originally here's a preview of what the graphics are going to look like, and now it's gotten even better than that,
Right.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. So before we go, Patrick, you wanted to check in. We're halfway through the year,
Yeah.
and we want to already talk about what we think will be Game of the Year 2017. We got so much left, though.
We have so much left. So I don't know what our time is. Our time constraints. We are about halfway, and I wanted a quick check in with you guys as to what has been your game of the year to this point, and then if time allows, like what are we looking forward to in the second half? And that might be worth unpacking in episode 3. I think that's a bit of a conversation. So I don't know if we've got bandwidth
It could be
now.
a way to inspire people to come back next week.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, Patrick, what is yours? Because you wanted to bring this all up. I have an idea.
I think it's very close for me. Right now, if I had to vote right now, it'd either be Horizon Zero Dawn or What Remains of Edith Finch.
I could have told you that.
Yeah, unbelievable. If you haven't played Edith Finch, I cannot recommend it enough. And comes out on Xbox this week.
Do you know
Ti-
price point?
What is this game?
$20. It's an Annapurna game. It's an indie game. It's a walking simulator. And I'm trying to think of what I can say that won't be giving too much about it. It is revisiting. You play a character that's revisiting a family household, and everybody in that household has died. This is in the commercial, so I'm not recommending anything. They're cursed, and so you're unpacking the ways that they died through a myriad of weird mechanics and storytelling framing devices.
Okay.
Haunting. You
interested.
play through it in 3 hours, and it's just one of those games that I think about at least once a week since I
Cool.
finished it. I cannot recommend it enough. Cool. So Ryan, Stacey, do you have a favorite at this point?
So I think Horizon Zero Dawn is my big game
Yes.
that absolutely deserves it. But
Yep.
I have to give an honorable mention to another indie game that I played called Night in the Woods, which I've been stuck on since I played it. It was such a beautiful, haunting gameplay experience.
How long is that game? I've wanted to check it out, and I'm so glad that you loved it. Just
I
trying
put
to
in,
budget
like
my
7
time.
hours.
Okay.
Something like that. And I mean, I would go through every day, everything that I know, right?
Wait a minute.
Taking my time
Yeah.
and talking to everybody.
Yeah.
What? That doesn't sound like me at all.
Won't even play it if there's not a new game plus.
So that's like a leisurely kind of.
Okay. Cool.
How about you, Nate?
Oh man. I mean, my reflex is PUBG, but it's
I
only been
don't
like
That's what you've been
2
playing a lot.
weeks, but it's so good.
I'm dying. I can't wait till it comes to
Like,
console, man. That's
there's
cool.
not a lot of games where I'll play, and then you die, and like, there's no respawning, so you're just spectating your friends. But I'll spectate till the end, even if it's random. Sometime I'll spectate till the end.
That's
Because
pretty
it's-
cool.
It's like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
But you don't have to, right? It'll kick you right back into a game kind of immediately.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
If you don't want to.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. It's nice you have the option too.
That's
Alright.
nice.
I would probably say Ghost Recon Wildlands. In terms of like what I've actually put time
Makes
into.
me so. I'm like 80 hours deep in that
Yeah,
game,
it's
dog.
just-
I just aced El Sueño. You're preaching to the choir right here.
It's just fun just to drive around and just see what happens.
Baby makes 3.
I
Blow
can't,
stuff
baby. Absolutely the best part of that game. And baby makes 3.
They just need
so good.
They just need some updates on some banter. We just need some fresh banter in here.
Yeah,
And As you play it,
turn that
I got a
stuff
pro
down.
tip for folks at home too. You can get to El Sueño, the last boss, without clearing the map, if you will. There's a point where to let you do that, and you can quote unquote finish the game. It is a diametrically different ending than the ending that you get if you actually finish. So I think they're both really interesting. I kind of
Interesting.
liked the one better when I didn't clear it because like shit got really fucked. Excuse my language.
Did you have
We're all
to
adults here.
did you have to like reset that or
No,
you
it just
start a
drops you back
character?
drops you back into the world and allows you to complete it, and then you get an opportunity to get the ending in it if you want it.
okay.
So
Cool.
I recommend trying both. So don't hesitate to go right to that. But there is a second ending, and people don't know. So anyway, I know.
Clever girl.
Mark?
Well, for me, I'm doing a lot of catch up because
Yeah.
there's a lot of unfortunate. There's not unfortunate, but there's a lot of business that I have to attend to here at the studio as well as at other places. So the only game that came out in 2017 that I finished was Injustice 2. So that has to be my de facto.
Resident Evil?
I didn't play it.
Oh, okay, fair
I
enough.
watched it.
Okay, fair enough.
And I love that
Right,
world.
okay.
Yep.
But it'll be a thing of like, no,
Okay,
check it out.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, Injustice 2. I'm still going through Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's just there's also a lot of stuff from last year that I'm playing,
Yep.
and there are those couple of games where it's like, I'll play this for 10 minutes, and
Yep.
then 2 hours later, I'm like, I could have played something else.
Yes.
And that's Minecraft. But yeah, it's there's too much to play, and hopefully now once Comic-Con season subsides, or just con season subsides, it'll be like, all right, I want a day where I just play Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's it.
Do it. There's been a nice lull. I feel like the first probably a quarter, it was game after game after game after game, and like I feel like things have slowed down a little bit and allowed me to catch up.
But we got the Destiny beta starting in a couple of days.
We do. I'm debating. Are you guys gonna play? I'm still excited about Destiny, and we'll do that in episode 3. I want to hear about what you guys are excited about. But like, I played the shit out of the first beta in Destiny 1, and I really regretted it when the game actually came out. I'd played
me, the
it so
opposite.
much. I mean, it got me excited about it, but I kept thinking, oh, like there's gonna be all this more content. I'd rather kind of just go into the game fresh. I'm sold on Destiny 2. I'm going to be dedicating a lot of time to that game.
I think they're addressing that problem by limiting a lot of what you can do much more than in the Destiny 1 beta. But I think also a lot of it had to do with that beta was what the game was at launch versus what the game is now.
I agree with that. Part of me is like so sold on that, and if it just is a demo to get me interested, I'd rather wait and have that experience fresh.
Try out all
Which is
these
tough.
sweet new weapons.
Yeah. For me, from a competitive standpoint, being a big PvP guy, I want to get my hands on the guns. I want to get my hands on the new subclasses.
Even though
and
they'll
stuff,
probably
and
change,
walking
even though they'll
supers.
balance them a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, even they will balance them, and more likely than not, they'll release the notes, which is why I love Bungie, and they'll put it on the Destiny subreddit. But a lot of even just some type of a feel for the gun, and then it gets adjusted, is better than no feel. And a lot of the maps too probably won't get too many changes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sure.
So I think there's 2 maps that you can play through.
As far as I know.
Yeah, and just there's a lot of mechanics too within like the supers and the way the heavy ammo works now, and even just the difference between the energy.
I gotta go. I'm gonna
kinetic
go
weapons.
download the beta.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
No,
No, you're
you're
right.
there.
Like I can play
Yeah.
competitive. I think that's a great point. Like
Yeah.
I was concerned about the strike and the
Yeah, run the strike.
story
Run the
missions.
strike once or twice. A couple subclasses. maybe do the story mission if you're interested or not. Then
I'm gonna go
just
Crucible it
yeah,
up.
just bang
Yeah,
some
so
Crucible
let's
out.
we'll all try to get our hands. Oh man, we're
PS4?
gonna be at Comic-Con.
Yeah, and Xbox, whatever. I'll
Okay,
play.
I'm on PS4.
Let's do
so-
this.
All right, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the Destiny beta next week, as well as what we're looking for the second half of 2017. That has been it for this episode of Inventory Full. But before we go, let's tell the people where you can find us and where we will be gaming in case they want to join our party.
P to the Dees on Twitter, and you can find me both on Xbox Live and on PlayStation at Truly Slide.
Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me at Stacey Shuttles on Instagram and Twitter. I'm kind of in a break from gaming right now because I'm desperately trying to get ready for Comic-Con. But once that's done, I'll be back to it.
I love
What's going on,
Nate?
guys? Nate Miller. You can find me on social media at DogLikeNate. And if you want to play games with me, just tweet at me at DogLikeNate, and I'll give you whatever we're playing.
I'll give you everything. And you can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Find the show on Twitter at InventoryFullPT. You can find us on essentially any social media network at InventoryFullPT. You can find our Discord channel as well.
Ooh.
Yes.
Please make sure to join
yeah,
that.
that's a great point.
And
We
gonna
got
keep
that now.
and we're just going to keep that going
The new
throughout.
community.
Please
Sick.
join the community. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Inventory Full, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Later.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.